What's up, guys? Welcome to a very special episode of Married to Reality. I'm John, here with my wife, Teresa, and two very special guests who need no introduction, but I'll do it anyways because that's the kind of host I am. It's Jake Anthony, a.k.a. Poodle, and Matt Marr, who, if I had to give him a nickname based on a dog breed, I'd probably say German Shepherd. Mattie and Poodle are the reality gays.
I would say... Thank you. I would say it's more of a gay golden retriever.
John, I just want to say, das ist gut.
Hey,
das ist gut.
Come on,
love it.
You guys are
Hi,
guests.
guys.
I'm gonna be nice. Hey, Mattie. Hey, Poodle.
Thank
And
you all
hey,
for having
Teresa.
me.
And hey,
Teresa.
What dog would Teresa be?
she's shut in a closet. She's, I would say she is.
Like a medium breed. At least a medium breed.
You'd be a medium-sized dog.
Is there a Czech breed?
I don't know.
Maybe, I think you could maybe be like one of those like Shih Tzus with long hair.
No.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you, Golden?
Maybe a really, really proud Weimaraner or Weimaraner. One of those dogs that's a German breed though. It's like a very proud.
She's not impressed.
She's not having it. Never mind. Fuck it.
We'll figure it out later.
We'll figure it out.
I feel like I could be a golden retriever.
All right. You
I
can be
said I
Go
was-
for it.
How did we get the name Poodle?
Oh, I'll let you answer.
The PG version, please.
No, it's very peachy. You know, Jake and I used to be roommates, not in that way. We lived with another woman. And so it was just sometimes trying to speak to Jake and have a conversation. Or if there's a mirror in the house, Jake is going to look at himself in the mirror. And
It's
so
really hard not to look at myself in the mirror.
He's a show dog.
And he gets
I am
really,
a show dog.
he is a show
I go out there and play every game.
every game. And so I was trying to talk to him about, I think I was talking about my day job at the time, and I was just bemoaning about just work shit, and which Poodle's already bored with anyway. And so he's sitting there listening to me.
Affects me.
And he's kind of moving back and forth like this on one hip. And finally he looks at me and says, do I look slimmer if I bevel on this hip or this hip? And I'm like, I'm trying to have a conversation. I said, you're like a fucking prancing poodle. And then it just stuck.
And it stuck. Yeah.
So
I love it.
Okay. So you named him Poodle.
I did.
There we go.
You coined it.
His mother Poodle still doesn't get it.
It's like, what is poodle stuff? Come on.
You know what I thought? I thought that maybe once upon a time you had like curly hair, like a fluffy curly hair.
Oh.
You had a perm.
And that's why they called you a poodle.
And then they shaved me. And my butt was just cold.
If you were showing pigs today, you may have a perm. Apparently, that's the big in hairstyle. Or
Yes, in like pig royalty, you need perm or a mullet.
Oh, yes,
It's true.
Otherwise, you might not as well show pigs.
Might as well not show
You're
him.
not getting a buckle without either of those.
No, I can't believe we're going to interview Michelle Bolero and Joy
Oh
Pepper.
my gosh,
Are
I
you?
can't believe you guys
Yes.
are going to interview Michelle.
We are.
We actually talked with her on the phone because we got her number through a producer for the show. And both of us were like this. We were so nervous
I was
because
so nervous.
we may have said things like she's a giant pig who breathes fire and sprays shit out of her butt at everybody.
But
And screams it's all about the kids.
She gets it. She's going to do it with her mother, so we can't wait.
Do you know?
Wow.
Does she listen to the pod?
We don't want to ask.
We would rather her never have heard of us and for her to be blissfully ignorant of everything we say.
I feel like people, when they come on our show, it's kind of like somebody that you hooked up with and the hookup was okay or there was something, but you have to see them again. You
Right.
kind of just don't look at them fully in the eye and you don't want to acknowledge what happened, but you just want to get through and move on and eat the cake because you're at church the next day, kind
You'll
of
say,
a thing.
hey, how are you? Oh my God, it's so good to see you. All right,
Good to
bye.
see
Next
you,
time we're in the
yeah.
grocery store. Yeah.
I mean, what I
Well
always
said.
say is that we cover what we see on TV. If you act like an asshole and you do crazy shit on TV, we're going to call you out on it, right? I
Us
don't know
too.
what you do in your personal life. I don't know if you are the nicest person ever. We judge what we see. And so if Michelle acts like Michelle, hey,
Yes.
Well,
okay.
That's all you can say.
She can't explain that away. Yeah.
We are not here to talk about pig royalty, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
We are here to talk about 90 Day Diaries. We did part 1 over on the Reality Gaze podcast, so go check that out if you haven't. This is going to be part 2. We're going to talk about Tariq and Hazel. We're going to talk about Matt and Ala, Anna and Marcel. Before we do...
It's episode 6, by the way. We didn't say this on our show. It's season 3, episode 6.
Mother of all mamas, mother of all mothers, or something
like that. So, yeah.
Probably because of
it aired.
Punkosaurus.
When y'all are hearing this, it aired like a week ago or something like that.
Yes. Before we get into it, though, we got to talk about this new season of 90 Day because I think it's incredible. Teresa thinks it's
fabulous. I love the OG.
I love it.
I love the OG.
I love it. Mattie loves it.
It is full of we are critical mass of crazy this season, and it's I like to say that it's got a good mixture of people you watch through your fingers of, like Bilal and Shida, and then also people who are going to be you're gonna hate Ari, and she's gonna do shit that you're already preparing yourself you're gonna hate. But then there are people like Kara and Guillermo that you don't know about yet, and then you have people like Emily, who I'm going to just be annoyed from the start by and probably is going to wind up being the Ari of this season, I have a feeling.
I just want to feel something, whether that's anger or humor. I just want to make me feel something because those looking through the finger couples, to me, are the best. Yeah. We talked about Kenny and Armando on part 1 of this, and it's great. They love each other. They have a good relationship. But after an episode or two, you go, all right, like bring some drama.
Yeah, and I want to see the drama.
Make me feel. And everyone goes, it's so overproduced now. 90 Days so overproduced. Life is overproduced.
Exactly. Give it to me.
Instagram is overproduced. Go to a concert. It's not a guy with a guitar anymore. There's a whole stage show. Life is overproduced. It's just going with that trend.
Yeah. John, you are a wise, hot man.
You know what wasn't overproduced? Season 1 of 9 Day Fiance, and it was a snooze. So,
and it was just with the times, though. Back then, Instagram was probably just coming out, but now everything is overproduced. If you're not, someone's going to go on TikTok and find something else to watch.
I hate when people go in and say, oh my gosh, like it was bad edited. That's not what I said. If you go on the show, you've watched it before.
Yes.
And you know it's going to be edited. And honestly, I don't want to be someone holding hands and singing Kumbaya. No, I want to see the drama.
Like, no one wants to hear you sing anyways.
No, you're so right. It makes me, in this season, there's a lot of, just like Jabri and Miona and a lot of just like influencers. Who do you think? I'm asking this not to, I was trying to think myself and I don't have an answer, but you know how we're going to do the diaries y'all talked about. And like, I remember like Anna and Marcel were like a cringe couple. I was watching through fingers, and now seeing them when I saw them on 90 Day Diaries, I went, oh my God, I love them. So who do you think out of this season has the potential to be that couple like 2 years from now? We're going to miss them and love them.
Ooh.
I know it's your show, and I just thought of that watching it.
No. Okay, you go.
I just wanted to preface it with, I don't think any of those, they're authentic couples and whatnot, but I don't think any couple is coming on this show that doesn't want Insta fame, that doesn't want a little, because as Teresa said, we've all seen the show. You know what's going to happen. The paycheck's not big enough to come on just for the money. Right. So why ruin your life if you're not in it?
You got to get that Boom Body sponsorship that all of them do.
Right.
And that's how you're going to get on OnlyFans. Like that's what all they do. That's how you make the money.
Eve's going to be doing OnlyFans next year.
Come on, my OnlyFans. You see my boobs.
Is she going topless on OnlyFans?
I don't think she's doing topless.
She is on OnlyFans. She's
doing probably Sidle.
Oh my gosh.
Teresa, what do you? We do a segment.
Stacey,
we do a segment on our
side boob. They like my side boob, Stace.
We do 90 Day by the Way, where I talk about news stories that are out there in the world, and I think one of them was Darcy on OnlyFans. Do you not?
No, I thought you guys said Eve on OnlyFans.
Oh no, I said that'll be Eve in a year and a half.
Okay. I have a bad reception in the closet over here.
No.
Oh, she's in her QAnon bunker over here. Just
Oh God, don't get us started. We're
But
here
yeah,
in Florida.
Darcy,
you're in
I don't
Florida,
understand.
so
Yeah.
hey.
I don't understand Darcy on OnlyFans. Like, girlfriend, why? I thought she's, doing well with the House of 11.
Empowerment.
Do you understand anything she does though? You guys interviewed Darcy and Stacey, so you, if anyone, we could ask what's going on with them.
They don't live in the world we live in. I would tell you that they have created the world that they live in, and they're there. They're perfectly lovely.
Mm-hmm.
They're very funny, and they also get the joke. I think they see every opportunity to everything that is learning more about their lives, even OnlyFans, Instagram, any type of social media, is a way of selling their brand. And so
I get
they're
that.
open to all of it. But
right.
it does feel invasive to most of us normies, but not to them. Their world is not our world. That's what
Well, I wonder if they're aware enough to know this isn't going to last forever.
Absolutely not.
Let's do the cash grab now. No, you think they think?
Absolutely not. They don't think that they are. They don't think that they are mid 40s. They see themselves as late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we all pick up on it while watching them.
Yeah.
Imagine my mom just freaking doing shit like that. I would be like, oh, hell no.
I try not to. I'm from Connecticut, and so I'll see some of those places on the TV, and it drives me wild. Like, I get so excited to see it. But yeah, they're a unique bunch, but we love them.
They are. That's a nice way to say it.
Is there a lot of plastic surgery in Connecticut?
I mean, there's your classic Botox and lip injections and whatnot, but not to that level. I don't know many other of my neighbors that are flying to Turkey to get.
Well,
Are Raina and Debbie pretty typical?
Not my parents' circle. For better or for worse.
Let's be honest. Connecticut is a very posh state.
It is.
Yeah.
Tucked right in between New York and Massachusetts. I mean, between New York City and Boston. And then you have a lot of like little fancy, very expensive towns in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. And so, not that we run in those circles, unfortunately, but, I'm sure there are people like Darcy and Stacey, not in Middletown, however, because we've been to Middletown. Middletown is not a fancy town, but there are a lot of fancy towns in Connecticut. So I don't want to speak out for everyone who lives in Connecticut, but I can see people who do plastic surgery who are very fancy in the state. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, John.
No, again, they're one of a kind. You're not going to find another Darcy and Stacey down the street.
No, they're definitely singular.
Yeah. So, okay, but back to this season of 90. I don't know if there's that couple who you're going to go, wow, I can't believe they made it, or I'm happy they made it. I mean, you hope Emily and Kobe, you got a kid. You hope they're going to make it.
Yeah. To me, it's going to go either way for them. I think she's going to continue to be self-involved with this.
Either that, or I think I agree with you. I think she's going to, because I liked her at first. I was like, she said some things that rubbed me, but I do. I think hopefully it's going to work out. And then this last episode, I went, oh, Jesus. Either they're doing that to give her an arc and she's going to change by the end of the season. I doubt that, but possibly, maybe. I still think I'm holding out that they're giving Kobe a really good edit right now, and that he might come out being a dick. Because we
haven't seen anything about him.
We haven't seen anything about him. We don't know any. And you got to remember, Kobe's a fuckboy. So
it's a good point.
Yeah.
And here is my hot take. I think Bilal and Shaida will be the couple that in 2 years they will somehow make it and we'll be like, oh, look at them. Do you remember?
Really?
I totally agree with you. And that's why I think I said that before, that I think that they'll be like Matt and Nala. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I totally agree with you. They're my choice.
I love
funny?
her.
You love
Shaida?
Shaida's great. Shaida.
Yeah.
I was like, I had to take a while to like remember her name. And I was like, John was like trying to like don't butcher people's names. I'm like, I know, I hate when people do
That's
it to
what
me.
I have to
do
say,
it
John.
I do it all the time. You know
She
what?
has an excuse.
That's true. She
I
does.
do. I'm from Oklahoma. It's the same thing. English is not our first language there.
The pig Oinky was the valedictorian
It's
of his
true.
class. Yes. Oinky won all the junior awards.
I mean, who would have thought?
pig.
Who would have thought Gino and Jasmine would be the breakout couple?
No shit, right?
Right. So anything is possible.
I want them to be together forever, and I want to see that. I want to see the family.
It was
Gino.
only a partial nude. A partial. Nude.
Did you see that? Like, too, Rebecca and Cynthia sent her bras, and she's trying on their bra. I just I'm fully into it.
She's a star.
I love Jasmine, and I will tolerate Gino for Jasmine.
Me too. Me too.
You know why I love Jasmine? Because she is absolutely crazy, but she admits it. She's like, yeah, I'm fucking crazy. Right? And I love it. I love it.
She shows you who she is from the first.
Yeah. Because like first you think like, oh my gosh, like she's crazy. Like I hate this person. But once they admit that they're crazy and they're like full on crazy, knowing that they're crazy, love it. I love it.
When she said, you don't want me as an ex. I just busted out laughing. And then when she was trying to find him, she's like,
you don't want me as an ex, Gino.
She's like, I am going to cause a scandal. She says, I'm going to cause, and I was like, yes.
Just own you're crazy.
She does.
You mentioned Molly and Cynthia. They fitted the bra. They were at your live show, which we went and we saw. And let's just shout out your live shows because you guys have a new tour coming up this summer. Guys, go see it. You will laugh. You'll cry as Poodle tries to corral you into his playpen. You will have a good time.
You slipped right out from under my clutches, John.
Poodle, you put too much lube on him. I told you. You need to grease him up.
You were so slippery. Sorry
sorry
about that chafing.
Yeah. So it's healing fine. It's
good.
Okay. I'm glad we didn't even talk about it on our own show on part 1 because we forgot about it. But yes, we're having it's nice to be home for a little bit and kind of gather ourselves, and to honestly catch up on these collabs, which I just was busy with personal dad stuff, but we've been talking about this for like 8 months now. So it's nice to do this stuff and be home, but yeah, we'll go out in June and we'll be gone for about a month. And we're excited that we're not traveling during a winter storm or a COVID outbreak. We think at this time, we think it's going to be smooth sailing, knock on wood.
For weather, but it's going to be hot as hell when we're in Phoenix and Austin and
Texas. I'm used to that. I'm used to hot heat. We just can't do that cold.
No Florida though, not yet.
But guys, see them. Go see them because we went and it was fucking awesome.
Thank you. We had we are also going to do a tour a proper tour in the fall. So if you're not on our tour date list on our Instagram, Reality Gaze podcast, you can find it on our link tree. If you don't see your city listed there, you can check back in the fall. We're gonna do a bigger tour.
And when and if we ever get to Florida, we'll have you on a show.
Let's do it.
Definitely.
So you'll come on.
Let's do it. And you got a lot to choose from down here in Florida in terms of cast members. Because
that's true.
This is a breeding ground for 90 days.
We could get Nicole.
Oh my God.
We could get Nicole and we could get Gordy.
I don't want the podcast anywhere near us though.
I would actually 100. You're telling me you don't want to see Andre walk on stage and give you a hug?
Andre and Libby. I just don't want the podcast. I don't want the rest of the family.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want them.
Teresa is a Chuck stan. We will see. She loves Chuck.
I do I love me some Chuck.
It goes back to you saying we judge what's on TV.
Yeah, I started feeling bad for him because listen, he has like 59 kids and they all live off of him.
They do. And what's in? They just suckle on his big teats, he's like a sow, and all of them are just like he's like his shirt open.
Yeah, and I was saying, John, if we ever have kids, I would cut the freaking the vagina cord, and that would be it. I would not deal with my kids. I would not. I would be like, you live your own life. Like, don't live off of me. Like, come on.
He's done two things. He has created a big family where they are dependent on him. And unfortunately, what that's created is the kids can weaponize their own kind of like dislikes and likes and see who's the favorite with his money. And he is kind of the victim in that. So I agree with you there.
I agree with you too. And I actually, I never thought about this, but if I look back, I'm pretty sure his ex-wife has been a monster to him.
Oh, definitely.
Because that's where the girls get it from. All those older sisters. I mean, we've seen a little bit of Libby's mom, and she's just always fucking shady.
Did you watch the Diaries a week or two ago with Chuck?
No.
So we learned apparently he got married to his high school sweetheart at 18 because she was pregnant. They ended up having 6 more kids together. So they've been, I think they were married for 20 years. And then they ended up getting a divorce. But yeah, it's a high school sweetheart thing.
We don't watch, to be honest, watching this, we don't ever watch any Diaries at all. So like never, ever.
Yeah, we don't either. We just do it for bonuses usually when there's not a show on. Or
mainly because it's someone threw them a tin can with a camera on it and said, record this. And they're like recording on a beach. They're recording them like in a fucking alley. Like they're subtitling.
You hear seagulls going,
yeah, it's just, they're so fucking cheap. And I can't say it on air. We'll tell you after. But when we had Kyle and Noon on, like he told us what they get paid, and it's not a lot of money.
Ooh.
But what a coup. What a coup for 90 Day to come up with Diaries and go, you film yourselves, we'll get one.
Right.
I mean,
do all the work.
Good for TLC. And I'm a sucker for Diaries. I do enjoy it because I think it's authentic, right? You give them a cell phone or whatever, GoPro, and they just go crazy. But real quick back to Chuck, we also learned, besides the fact that he has so many kids and his wife was his high school sweetheart, he also had a cancer in 2016. And like that whole story, it almost hit me harder when you think about it. Okay, he was dealing with all that on top of all these freaking kids living off of him still. Not giving me any break. And we didn't know that he was dealing with this as he was on all these seasons, right? Some people loved him. Some people hated Chuck, right? But we had no idea. And I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm done with this collab because Teresa is making me feel something for Chuck.
No,
did not expect this.
You make good points. And I think he's like the mistakes he's been made was trying to make his kids' lives better by helping them financially and not helping them in probably emotional ways.
But the thing is, like, all of his kids just are users. Really, we say all the time, and it's why we interview them, Libby is the best of them, I think.
So
maybe
that's there.
Crazy like Mike. But anyway, yes.
All right.
It's definitely not Charlie. So
oh my gosh.
Coked up.
Speaking of
Miami grad,
and
or something.
Who knew Charlie has a big dick? He doesn't give that energy off at all.
He has a large penis. I know, it's shocking. He was on OnlyFans with his grossiest, pothastiest wife. And he has a big penis. It's. I will say it's not attractive, but you look at it and you go, I don't want to do. It's not pretty, but damn, I would definitely talk to it.
I really don't think the Married to Reality listeners were expecting that.
They don't. They're expecting dick talk.
I also don't like the way Teresa's looking right now. She's very intrigued.
No, I was just gonna ask. Is it bigger than the Costco sausage for $1.50?
Oh my gosh! She just had her first Costco hot dog last week, and
it's
talk about a size queen.
It's a little bit bigger than she's.
Wow. Okay.
I have to say, I wish we lived closer. I would love to just hang out with y'all because I bet
so much fun.
You're so fun, and also I feel like I just would like to walk around Teresa, just kind of judging American culture.
She judges things like she is a judge at a dog show, where she's like, yes, good, no, that's
check people.
It makes me look at America in a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, John had to really. I've learned a lot from John in a way to like dial back a little bit because I am very straightforward. And to the point that sometimes like John is afraid. But no, I've learned that, there are certain things that I'm just not going to vent. I'm just going to keep to myself.
Well,
And
when we go to Costco, you let loose. I want to hear it all.
But it's so interesting. There's a type of politeness for Eastern Europeaners that you're going to be polite to an extent, but then it's more polite to be directly honest. And it's weird for me being from the South. I had to learn that, especially if I went to the Czech Republic from Austria, which is extremely polite, especially the further you go south. Everyone's very like, oh, don't, we're fine. You're great. But if you go to, like the Czech Republic, if you go even further into Eastern Europe, it's like you're going to get direct honesty wherever you are. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I always tell John, and he knows it. It's not coming from a bad place, right?
No.
I just say what's on my mind, and obviously I learned to kind of dial back and
Americans don't handle it well.
no, they
No,
don't.
we sugarcoat everything.
They
Yeah, we
don't.
do.
Oh yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
For better or worse. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about this episode of Diaries. We're starting with a couple that I didn't even think would be together at this point.
Yeah,
It is weird.
There was ups, there was downs, there was breakups, they're back together. It's Tariq and Hazel.
Tarzol.
Lovingly known as
Tarzol.
Tarzol.
Otherwise known as we say on our podcast, the sixth daughter of Tevye from Fiddler on the Roof,
Yes.
Seidel, Huddle, and then Tarzol's the one we never hear about. He just has a hump and is sweeping the stable.
Yeah.
I should tell you guys, I'm a theater guy myself. Not necessarily a fan of the plays or whatnot. My sister was a theater major and in college, and so I grew up being a stage tech. So I would go and build the sets and run the shows. And
That's what the straight boys do.
Every time you guys mention Sunday in the Park with George or another play, I'm like,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
John, you got to stop because Poodle's going to come through the screen.
Yeah, I'm starting to make captures of you for my private time.
I'm not wearing a backwards hat for a reason, Poodle.
That's
so.
true.
Oh, that's true. Or
I'll have to invite you to picklefinder.net for a special session.
But
Anyway,
it's Fiddler on the Roof. Absolute classic. Okay, Tarzal and Hazel, who would have thought they're together? And they're done with the throuple that is now in the past.
I think she's so bored. There's nothing. I think she's exclusively there to get her son to America.
And find a girlfriend. And I think that's what she wants. Because
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say what she was saying since the beginning, that in the Philippines, it's not really accepted for her to find, to be with a woman. And that's what she wants. That's this whole girlfriend thing.
I think she wants to get her kid over here, get that settled.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to leave Tariq when she
knows
can.
he'll be okay with it
And
in a weird way.
He'll be okay with it. Because did you see they're sitting there and they're standing for their fireplace and he's like, so, last time you saw us, we were looking for a girlfriend and well, we just, dog, we just decided he's wearing his fucking Tarzal necklace. Yeah. We just decided that. I know. Like we just decided we're not going to probably do that now. And you see Hazel give like the biggest fucking side eye to him. Like, cause she wants a girlfriend, but she's so crazy jealous. She doesn't want a girlfriend to steal him from her. It was the same. It's like we cover classic, or we call them classless, old episodes of 90 Day Fiance on our Patreon. And we're on Josh and Ika.
Mm-hmm. On
and
season 5.
It's the same kind of like her expression. She gives these crazy side eye to him. And that's what it reminded me of watching. Hey, and I went, you want to be with the woman, but you want to kill him if he desired anyone but you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, there's this. I think this immediate thought that the throuple idea may be Tariq's idea because that's sort of the construct here in America. Is the guy? No, it's Hazel is the one that was looking because maybe she's not that into him.
It's basically if she could be Rose from Big Fred and Rose. It would be that's her, because Rose is kind of finding a way to live her life as someone who likes to be with girls.
She's killing it. Rose is living her best life.
And what's weird is I think Hazel is still stuck in that. She was raised very religious, so she has to be in that kind of style of family, and that leftover jealousy that she has to be with a man is part of that life. But I think she's a very confused person who doesn't know what she wants. I think she does want her son over here desperately.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like they're going to be able to do that when they're talking to Angela. And this is one of those scenes that was filmed that we just find out something about law, you guys, that we could have Googled.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, so Tariq's been saying this for a long time, and Hazel's like, yeah, but I didn't believe him. So,
would you
thanks,
believe
Angela.
him though? To be
That's
fair,
true.
I wouldn't believe.
Hot sauce.
He's like, I know.
Sing my single and go see Minty.
It's like the same shit when people post on Facebook asking about something you can Google. Like, I cannot stand it.
Uncle Google is your friend.
Just Google it. Just Google
I think they
it.
banned Google. I think they banned Google from any of these 90-day cast members because nobody
do.
Googles anything.
They could only Bing, like when I was in China and the search engine was bingfucking.com.
Is that true?
That is absolutely true.
He
Oh,
was
wow.
in
Bing
China.
something.
He was in China when COVID started, and he was in
Yes.
there in December of 2019.
Whoa.
Yeah,
So,
December 2019, January 2020.
We had just started our podcast, like 3 months prior?
And I didn't have a VPN on my phone,
And so-
but I had one on my computer.
He had one on his computer, but it was a nightmare of trying to do shows. And but he had to leave early because China was shutting down. And thankfully, and honestly, one of our sissies used to work for the army as a virologist, and like China was saying it wasn't that bad. And she's the one that messaged me on Facebook, and she was like, "You got to get Jake out of there. It's really bad." And so I sent Jake a message of like, we were doing a show, and I went, "You got to get out of there." And that's
And I bought a plane ticket. I was going to leave the tour, and the next morning they said, "Guess what? Here's your promoters. We're getting you out of here. We're going to take a 16-hour bus ride without stopping all the way across the country of China and get you guys to Shanghai."
And you were like, didn't you fly out the last day or the day
We were
before?
the second to last American flight that didn't have to quarantine at the Air Force
Oh,
Base.
wow.
Yeah.
And so he got out, but I will say, he gets over there and he's like, "Do you know you can't use Facebook over here?" And I went, "Jake,
I hadn't Googled it.
you're in China." So
I feel like a nutty dare.
So
And Grindr? Could you use Grindr?
You know what? Surprisingly, Grindr was very efficient.
Grindr
The gays
worked.
can do anything.
But so just to we tease these 90
Grindr
Day
was blowing up.
But Jake thought he could use Google. He thought he could use Facebook. He thought these things. So yes, they should Google, but Poodle's a very smart bitch, and she was clueless in China.
I did not know. I had a VPN on my computer, and I didn't even think that with my cell service I would need one. Of course I would. But
That's such good insight. Yeah. You just take it for granted.
It's true.
Well, the 90-dayers who can use Google still don't use it.
No, they don't.
no, they don't.
Okay, so yeah, that's the storyline, is that they want to get her son over here, and it apparently is
Looks
going to
like
be
they're
easier.
on the way.
But now talking about, what do you call your new segment? I forgot. I love that. 90 Day
90
by
day
the way.
by the way. Yeah.
I love
go,
that.
By the way. And then I
By
tell
the
her-
way.
we
didn't they-
forget the name of it with
Didn't they
one.
recently break up? I thought they recently broke up,
They're
but I heard they are
always
back
breaking
together
up.
now again.
They're broken up. They're back together. They're broken up. It's
Okay.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I just find every season of them to be hard to watch.
They are my lead.
Yeah.
They are to me like you really, John, you really capsulate. I just want to feel something. It could be disgust. It could be repulsion.
anger. Yeah.
No, I don't
wanna
feel
feel-
anything with them.
No,
I don't
No.
feel anything with them.
No.
but here's my question. Did Tariq bought the necklace from the same person as, what's her face? Soulja Boy?
Kimberly.
Kimberly. It's like the same shit.
Oh.
Whoa! I did not
Custom.
expect that.
It's
did not-
big. It's
I did not
gold.
expect this question. I did not expect this question. That I went to a jeweler. I went to a jeweler in San Diego, and they made it was real. It's gold, and it is what I would do as a potential. What I
They're
do.
still together, y'all.
That's
They're
unbelievable.
still fucking
Again,
together.
I
I
can't believe that, but okay.
I totally a part of Jake won't do it, but we're doing it. This live show tour we're doing in San Diego, and part of me would
I'm not
love to
having her.
love it,
No,
but
no,
Jake
no,
can't
no,
do
no.
it. But I could do it.
I consider her super gross.
I know a lot of people do, but I would honestly just want her son to come. But I think he's in New York. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm
He
torn.
is.
I'm torn on them. I think they both use each other, and so
Yeah.
I have a hard time feeling bad for either of them.
I think I don't want to support. I don't want to act like I'm supporting her ridiculous behavior because she's acting like a fool. She's acting like an absolute cartoon. And then on the tell-all, she was there like she was on fucking Maury, telling everyone she thought. And she's the worst person to be a reality star because it's going to change her. And I don't want to support that for her.
Do you think we'll see more of her?
Of
Yes.
course.
Yes.
I
think
guarantee you they're filming more. Yep.
Wow.
Guarantee you.
I think they will go to distance, and she will bring him over.
Amen.
Okay, if
No,
she
I
brings
don't-
him over,
I don't think she'll bring him over. She will support him. He doesn't want to be brought over. He's more of a star in Africa. He's King Africa.
you know
That's
why
true.
he doesn't want to come over, even though he may think he wants? Because we do have a Soulja Boy here.
Soldier Boy, tell him. You.
Like, he cannot be a Soulja Boy in America where
Because
we do
we have a
Soulja
Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
I think they will be the Angela and Michael though. Where we will see a lot of them.
And I'm so over them. But if Michael comes to America, I'm in.
That I will say that is the deal with a lot of Angela and Michael stopped making me feel things. I'm going to use that all the time. But if he came to the U.S. to see him in Georgia, I would 100% watch that.
Now there's tension. Now there's something at stake.
I don't
You'll
think they're
feel
together anymore, though, are they?
I heard she's over there filming.
God.
Of
Oh,
course she is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be on the other way.
did you hear it? You see, John doesn't share shit with me. He always
I
is
want-
like, save it for the pod.
he
Save
does-
it for the pod.
He does this to me, y'all.
I did-
He says,
John, I
he's
did
like,
too.
save it. And he saves it because he says, you can't be surprised.
Exactly.
John, I
And I'm
think
like,
we're the
fuck
same.
you.
I think we're the same, and we're basically you're actually married, and I'm work married to straight talking bitches. That's
I
what
hear
we're.
it.
That's what-
I felt like I'd finally found my people when I was in Eastern Europe. I was just like, they got my sense of humor. Everybody else say, you're so rude. I'm like, no, I'm just telling you the truth. All the Czech people will curl your hair with things they'll say to you, just with a straight face.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we move on? Should we talk about
Yes.
this next couple, Anna and Marcel?
Bees?
The bee people.
They look good. They didn't age. I don't know if it's the honey, what they're rubbing on their face or what, but they look good.
She got her moles removed, y'all.
She did that?
That's
I think because of us.
we unfortunately named her moles.
You guys are ruthless.
It was Jake who
are.
did it. It was Jake who did it.
I love how you just threw me under the bus, and it's not. No, I probably wouldn't have talked about them.
I didn't notice them. I don't
I
notice
probably
Jake does.
would not. You'd notice them. Come
No,
on.
I did not. I did not.
The,
And then you
the
brought them up.
problem
You
with the
did.
moles. The problem with the moles were never the moles themselves. It was their placement. It was like this one thing that bisected
Yes.
her face.
They
And
were
there
like
was
a constellation.
literally a line of latitude or longitude where the moles lived. And you could draw a line, a complete straight line connecting them all.
It was the
And-
formation more
But
than
Yeah.
it was.
she got them removed, and I have to say,
You're
It's-
welcome.
like it looks better. I did not know how much I missed this couple until I
I
saw
didn't
them on my
either.
screen.
His
And-
English is better.
Is it?
Oh my
Is it a
gosh.
little-
Finally.
No, you're right. I'm
Is it-
I'm trying to be nice.
You know, we did have a sissy. This was like a year ago or 2 years ago when they were on, who actually sent us two jars of her honey.
That's
It's
good.
some of
It's
the
really
it's
good.
the best fucking honey I've ever had in my life.
I mean, I love honey, so I would dedefinitely give it a
It
shot.
will order
but-
it. It's delicious.
It's delicious. You can use that in the bedroom, y'all.
Uh-oh.
How? Oh, like to put it
How?
to like put it on ourselves?
I will just say this right now. don't get honey places because it's almost impossible to get off. You can lick it off and it still doesn't come off.
Plus, with all your Vaseline, it's just going to fight each other.
True.
That's a great point, John.
So there they are. They're at their honey shop, their bee shop, or whatever. I need your thoughts on this Christmas tree that is decorated with bees and beehives.
You can take this. You have more sensitivity to Christmas. I don't like theme trees. So.
I'm fine with the theme tree. You work in a bee place.
I know.
Make a theme tree. No, it's just you have no taste when it comes to Christmas decorations. So let me handle this. It's true. When we lived together, we rented with our other friend. We had like a 3-bedroom house. I think one year we had 5 Christmas trees, and then you made me dial it back to 3.
I love that.
I mean, it's a house.
I had 1.
No, well, but I grew up with my mother was a craft designer, so it's just in my blood. And but so I've even made there's old videos of when I was younger doing hosting stuff. I've made YouTube videos about how to decorate your Christmas tree.
You're so gay.
Legendarily.
Like you can see it from Mars.
I am. Yes, it's true. There's some Martian going, look at that faggot.
I know, right? Look at that queer.
Look at that queer. So, okay. And the main atrocity to me about this tree is the lighting. No matter what you put on a tree, you need to have lighting needs to look magical, like fairies from a Christmas tree forest have landed on a tree to light it because Jesus was born. This is what we have to do here, people. This is what we're going for. Mm-hmm. So there was no lighting on this tree. Also, you got to it's like the foundation of a house. If you buy a cheap ass tree from Walmart, then your tree is going to look like a cheap ass. It's just, you can't put a bow on pig shit. So I think they should have started out with a better tree. I didn't mind the decorations. It was just the lighting on the tree.
You needed a real tree. A real tree.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. You do a real honey, you need a real freaking tree.
Like I would have done like a beehive on the top of the tree and then actually had on wires bees spinning around the beehive.
And I don't want to ruin this for you. You know this, by the way, that Jesus, the historical records, was not born in December. He was born sometime in summer. Yeah, and also because Christmas was put there to make it not a pagan holiday, to ruin the pagan holiday.
I'm an atheist, but you just ruined it for me.
I know.
That's 90 Day by the Gay. That's a new segment. That's a new segment.
By the Gay. We're stealing that, John.
We are 90 Day by the Gay. Oh, my God, John. Brandon.
We're stealing it.
Yeah.
We're stealing it.
Can I tell you, when you guys were doing your rebranding and you were asking for names and subtitles and whatnot, I didn't submit anything, but I had a thought. You guys should have just been Reality Gays or whatever, not your straight reality TV podcast, because you guys go all over the place in a beautiful way.
Well, thanks for telling us that now.
Now, John. We bought art. I paid
Better late than never.
Yeah.
Not your straight.
What am I going to do? That's beautiful.
Wow. I love that, and now I'm upset.
I'm going to need your phone number for when I have branding questions, but give it to me, not to Poodle, or you're going to get an ass pick.
You might get 2 in the morning. Late night texts.
Yeah.
There is one thing about John is he's very good with words, and to the point that our wedding, and we all wrote our vows, and everyone cried during John's. No one cried during mine.
I cried as you butchered the English language.
No one said. Everyone just looked at me as I'm reading and trying to be a little funny. And I look at people and John's talking. Everyone's crying. The officiators are crying. I'm crying. Everyone's crying. I'm like, God damn it.
Teresa, I don't think your vows are your time for your audition for Showtime at the Apollo. So maybe, but I guess.
Yours were beautiful. They were beautiful.
I'm sure.
Oh. Okay.
No, I'm sure they were, but I'm sure they were lovely.
Speaking of love, they're expecting a baby. There's another baby on.
Yeah.
There's another baby on the way through surrogacy. No surprise here. Marcel has not told his family because he loves to keep secrets.
No shit, boy. I am father, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell him later. He doesn't tell them anything, and then that was honestly talk about feeling something. I felt something when he left, whatever season it was, and he went to the airport and he was going to go home and they were going to break. I felt something.
I did too.
Then
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
They like got
cried.
married on the last day. Like didn't
Yeah,
he
they
like
literally
leave and
got-
come
yes.
back? Yeah.
Remember, he was crying at the airport, and there was that sales clerk at Omaha Steaks just sitting there watching it in horror.
I think
at
you're the
airport.
only one who picked out of Omaha Steaks.
That's true, but
at
I'll
that
still
airport.
never forget it. And cut to now, he's like making this baby cradle, and I have to say, if they made a spinoff on Discovery Plus called Marcel Learning About Babies, I would watch that show in a second.
He's like, I don't wear diaper at home. They're like,
Is
what?
that what Florian is now in a
Yeah,
Yeah,
throttle?
it's a little Florian.
It's very Florian.
Well, before
You're gonna have
Florian,
to listen to old Marcel to figure out Marcel.
Marcel walks so Florian could run. Those were the prototype. Bees when he would do that. Yeah, it was all very
Florian
high
is a
voice.
gift. Forget
Florian
Darcy
is
Stacey.
here. It's a how, not here.
We love a Florian.
We do
Yeah.
too.
Love Florian. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Anna needs to stop talking to Marcel like he's a fucking baby. Like she goes like, love finished. Who talks to someone like that? Of course he's never gonna learn the English language properly if you talk to him like
True.
this.
It's
Well,
true.
you could be Memphis that says me poop now
Oh my gosh.
and
That's
move along. Yeah.
that's another one. Like one
Yeah.
thing I have to say, like I have to give John a lot of credit is that when we met back in 2015, 2016, my English was okay, but my English wasn't good. And so when we talked about this on your podcast, we did this Wolverine part, right? One of the many reasons why we didn't continue was because my English wasn't there. Like I just couldn't really speak. I couldn't express myself. I didn't feel confident enough to do this. But John always helped me out. Like he never talked to me. I'm a freaking baby. And he never been like, your English is great.
Aw.
Like move on. He was like, oh, this is not what you say. And corrected me in a way that I learned from. He didn't offend me. He didn't, make me feel like I'm an idiot. He helped me out. And I feel like my English is way better today because of him. So shout out to my husband, John.
Aw.
That was
you.
such
It's really-
a sweet story.
It's really
You guys
true.
are making me blush a lot on this podcast.
No, but
I
it's so
think-
true. And I see with all these freaking 90-dayers that the Americans talk to them like they're idiots. That they are babies. And they're going
Right.
to pick up that English. They're going to pick up the super simple English.
I don't know. I think you're giving Marcel too much credit because
He is not a smart man.
he is
like
not a
Forrest
smart
Gump.
man. He's not. I mean, y'all, he's been here for 2 years, and this is still where he's at in English. It is a little better.
I will say
a little.
English is complex with its grammar, and that's the hardest, and all the exceptions. But it is weird how he seems to still have problems understanding.
I don't think he's
because
made an
English
effort, though, at all.
comprehension is much easier than speaking. But he's at the very beginning. The fact that he couldn't do a quick Duolingo for just being able to say "How are you" is something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good point, yeah. But
and-
to give him, not to take Marcel's side, but the older you get, the more difficult
true.
it gets
It's
to
true.
learn languages.
That's true.
And
That's true.
I started learning English in high school, and by the time I came to the States, I was 20. And so I thought my English was great, but it really wasn't. And that's why I'm stuck with this accent, because I started way too late. And I don't think I will ever get rid of it. Also, it comes from this part that I don't have a musical ear, and I just don't hear the way
Right.
other people. And this is John's theory, and I think it's right. Like I think people who have a musical ear,
You're just
can
not
drop
musical, honey.
accents. Dude, I'm not musical at all. Like I cannot sing. I love singing.
No,
I always
that's
sing with you
interesting.
guys, but I cannot sing. And I think that's why I will never lose my accent.
It's interesting because I have a musical ear, obviously, because that's what I've done my whole life. But and I can imitate people in their voice sometimes. I don't do accents perfectly, but I can kind of do an accent back to you. But it does help.
Do it.
There's certain qualities for you. No, yours is
Ooh,
not.
she just put you on the spot.
Boy.
Yours is
Dance,
just
Pony,
yours
dance.
is slightly broken English with just a little bit. It's but yours is I don't hear a lot of I think it's from where you're from. It's not swallowed like a lot of Czech speakers sometimes can be a little bit further back. They can sound kind of Germanic. But yours is much more forward in the mouth.
Yeah,
And
she
so-
sounds like no one in her family, which is
Really?
strange. When they speak English, they sound completely different than Teresa for whatever reason.
For whatever
Yeah.
reason.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
All right, let's
I think
let's
it's
keep
beautiful.
going. We love
For
to get
whatever
derailed on
reason.
this
Thank you.
podcast. You guys get derailed, we get derailed. Poodle gets railed.
Perfect.
It doesn't,
I
it doesn't
always
matter.
get and I get railed.
He
There you
just
go.
said Poodle gets railed. You didn't hear him. Oh my
Doesn't
God.
matter.
Oh, you're John's got my jokes now.
Here we
They're
go.
all gay vaudeville jokes.
They are.
So Mariah comes over. Mariah comes over.
Mariah, yeah,
This
Mariah.
doula. I got to give her a shout out for going there with her t-shirt. She's promoting her business.
She
It's like
is.
Omaha Baby
big
Net.
break.
Her.
This is her big break.
I absolutely Googled it. I think it's 5 stars on Google reviews. So good for her.
Great.
But
If you're
she's
in
there.
Nebraska, do that. Call Mariah.
She's teaching Marcel to put a diaper on. He's basically manhandling the baby. It causes
He is.
concern for me. But it just ends with basically her saying, watch out for a golden shower.
And at one point, he goes, they pee in the air, and he went, go away.
What?
I think he
Go
meant,
away,
get
my
out of
friend.
here.
Go away.
Go away.
When he
Get
said
out of
that,
here. Go away.
I completely just fell into hysterical laughing and screamed, I missed him.
Oh, he's nuts. I forget what a clown he was.
We were brutal to them.
Besides the moles. And
Someone got surgery because of you, Poodle. So yeah, I would say that's
we called her
Who
a
was I?
bad mother.
We did. We called her a bad mother because she kept choosing him over her kids every single time.
those kids would be hard to choose.
I'm telling you. I'm telling
Especially
you.
the oldest, who had a real mouth on him.
Oh, boy.
I'm telling you, that young one's going to be dancing on a pole.
Yeah, we thought
Not
he would
gonna
be a
get
male
rid as
stripper.
well. Yeah.
They're a handful.
Yeah.
Anything else with that couple?
No, I'm glad to see them there. And their surrogate was, I don't know if you guys know this, the surrogate was from Ukraine. And
Yes.
they just had their baby. They went over to Ukraine they literally just like picked up their baby. And I guess
in the
said,
midst of
"Have
all
fun,
of this."
surrogate.
Yeah.
Another 90 Day by the Gay.
Yeah.
Okay. Last couple, Matt and Alla, who, listen, I kind of forgot about them.
They're one of my favorites, mostly for her. He's so for me, but I love her so much. She's just so warm, and she's kinder than a lot of Ukrainian women that I've known, mostly because I went to a lot of Ukrainian women I went to school with, music school. Very much Natalie's, very much interested in nice things. And Alla just seems, she is still direct, like a lot of Ukrainians
Very
are.
direct.
Very direct. But, and very pragmatic, but she seems to have a lot more sweetness behind it.
Well, she wasn't given the chance to seem like she wants, because it looks like she has everything she wants. She's got the nice house, the Maserati, the Porsche, the plane.
Yeah, they do really well. So yeah.
I'm going to break this fraudacity wall right now on this storyline.
I'm glad you are.
Yeah.
If you can buy a fucking airplane, you can afford a
You
nanny.
can afford a motherfucking au pair.
Absolutely.
This is not, and I knew that already, but then when we had his brother Mike, do we remember how fucking horrible Mike was in their
he
season?
was terrible.
And now Mike is the one standing by a golf cart saying, oh yeah, Alla, she needs a lot of help. And I went, fraudacity. But I still enjoyed seeing them.
Yeah. Tell us, Teresa, you were talking about before, you have been an au pair.
Yeah, you
Tell
talked
us about the
one.
au pair life. Did you love babies?
No.
No.
I have never touched a baby before I became an au pair. I obviously lied on my application. I'm so sorry. But listen, long story short,
Good thing for the families who hired you.
I'm still very close with them. We're still very friendly. And I actually end up being very lucky compared to most au pairs, because I've heard crazy, crazy stories. I've met au pairs who were in crazy families who were treated very poorly. It
Like
wasn't me.
indentured servitude.
Yeah.
I was matched with this beautiful Greek family. And I think the reason why we really got along was because they were Greeks from Greece. Like they were like Europeans, living in America, and they're
Yeah.
both doctors, very smart, very cool. All of us had accents, so they were understanding of me trying to navigate the English language because I really could not speak when I landed. I landed in America and I was like, oh fuck, because I couldn't even order a coffee. Like it was that bad.
Wow.
But they were fine. They were okay with me just, kind of like learning, and I hit some roadblocks. One of the kids didn't like me at the beginning, and I think it was because there was another person in the house. She was 5 at the
Yeah.
time. Within like a couple of months, we just became besties. And I think the way I approached it, why I also like it worked out, I became very friendly with the mom, and I was almost like a friend to the kids. I wasn't trying to be their like, second mommy as
Right.
like some au pairs approach it. I was like, hey, I'm your older friend. You got to listen to me, but I'm not here to, punish you or anything. And the kids, we just got very close. Like we're still friendly. They came to our wedding. We talk once in a while.
Oh.
And so I had a great experience. I mean, it was tough. I worked a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I definitely grew a lot. All of a sudden I had to do laundry. I had to cook. I had to do all that stuff that my mom did for me.
And I'm cashing in on it now. She
Yes, yeah, he sure is.
takes-
But
It
Eating
takes care of
Greek
me.
food.
oh yeah, and I learned to cook a lot of Greek food. But I have
Oh.
to say this: as au pairs, you have rules, right? Like for example, you're not supposed to, you're not allowed to do anything that involves the parents. Everything you do is for the kids. You do laundry, you do it for the kids. You cook for the kids, right? All your time should be with the kids. And when Ala was talking, like, oh, I want to have 24/7 help. You're not going to have 24/7 help.
Yeah.
The au pair will only be eligible to help you with the kid unless you make an arrangement and you pay her extra, and she's not gonna tell anyone, because if she would, they're gonna kick out of the program. There's gonna be some issues, and I've seen it before, right? And so I'm just curious to see how that's gonna work for her, and also I'm curious to see if she's gonna get a Ukrainian au pair.
That's what I was thinking. Someone who she could speak with and kind of like be a
Yeah.
friend. That's what I was thinking.
Fun fact, I know a lot of families from all over the place, and I've met a lot of families, I've met a lot of au pairs. All the families who got the au pair from the countries they were from didn't like it. They ended up saying like, oh my gosh, this is the mentality I don't like, right? All of them. And then usually the happiest au pairs were the au pairs from wherever that lived with a family, they couldn't understand each other. So in a way, like I lived with the Greeks, right? I had a lot of Israeli au pairs, and the happiest Israeli au pairs were when they weren't with Israeli families.
Yeah.
It was just something new for everyone. So
Because that way everyone's learning and no one feels, everyone's trying to figure out their own normal. Yeah.
Is it culturally something? Because Matt kind of came with this again, fraud acid, but still he was kind of giving in America, we're very much like you can hire. I mean, really,
maybe middle America, but not
hiring
not rich
nannies.
America.
Well, but even just for middle class, hiring nannies just became a thing that people, I felt like, really have done in maybe the last 15 to 20 years. It's considered a norm. Because when I was a kid,
you didn't do that.
nobody had a nanny in this country. So is au pair more of a European idea that is just not what we're used to in the States?
Well, you don't have au pairs in Europe. I mean, there are some countries that you can go. I think you can be an au pair in Germany. You can be an au pair in France.
France is where the tradition started. Yeah.
Yeah, very limited. Same with like Britain. But I think America is like the melting pot for au pairs. Like I met friends from all over the world. A lot of au pairs from Asia, a lot of au pairs from South America, a lot of au pairs from Europe. I have a lot of friends from like South Africa. I have some friends from, Australia. And we all ended up in New Jersey. And that was the beautiful part about being an au pair, that I met all these awesome friends that I would never, meet if I never left my country. But au pair program is not just to be with the kids. Like it's about the cultural experience. Like they have to give you certain time to explore, to travel, to go to school, right? So some people, and I've experienced it, some of the families that some of my friends were with ended up leaving them is because they didn't understand the idea of au pair. They thought, okay, it's a nanny, it's a live-in nanny, right? It's a cheaper live-in nanny. No, it's a whole thing. It's like this whole experience.
Yeah.
And if both sides don't understand it, it's not gonna work.
It's an international kind of experience that both parties agree to going in. Yeah.
So it's just new to me because I'm from Oklahoma and everyone's poor there.
Well, I knew a lot of Americans who did it to go overseas. That's in this country. That's one of my friends was an au pair for a Brit. Went to England, and she au paired for a while, like for 5 or 6 years. And she still lives there. Yeah.
And it's a great way to get to know people and travel. And when I came here as an au pair, I never planned on staying ever. But I was like, you know what? Let me learn the language. Let me travel a little bit. Let me meet new people. Yeah. And then I got the opportunity to go to college. And so I took it. And then I got the opportunity to apply for my work visa or work permit. And I got it. And I went for it. And then after I was like working already in my field, I met John. And
you met a sucker, and you went, hell yes.
That handsome face, and you were some.
Yeah. So things kept happening, but I never, that was never my intention as an au pair. But yeah, I wanted the adventure. I wanted to experience something new and meet people, and I did. But as I said, like I got lucky because the family had the right idea about what it means to have an au pair.
Right. I hope Allah does that, yeah.
I'm hoping for Matt and Allah doesn't turn into some strange adults adopting adults.
No.
Oh
my God.
We tried to watch that, and then it got crazy, and that was
we watched.
Oh,
they canceled it. Didn't they cancel it?
They had to.
Yeah, they had to.
The guy was nuts.
It got so cringy.
There's not.
I don't know if Jazz Baby's going to be happy about this because I feel like
that's his mom. That's what we call her.
I feel like she's going all of the sis, boom, ba, wah. Keep the baby.
You can raise your babies yourself.
Yes.
So what's the origin of Jazz? Jasmine?
We just called her that she looked like a jazz baby from the movie Victor Victoria. Not Victor Victoria, I'm sorry. Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Yeah, and she dresses a lot kind of like...
y'all, you should look at Teresa and John looking at me like, this is so gay. I'm lost.
She's just so...
It's a Julie Andrews movie.
Yeah, she's just so Broadway.
She's got those open Peter Pan collars and the short hair. It's like she looks like Gwen Verdon.
Gwen Verdon.
Way too gay.
If you understand these references, then one of you's having gay butt sex.
If your husband is listening, he's going and he's nodding his head. Y'all,
honey,
that husband is gay.
He's gay. He's gay.
Gwen Verdon, I loved her. Bob Fosse. Yes, loved her.
I'll Google.
Yes.
Good.
Google.
That's Matt and Al, right? Anything else?
I think he just gives Max is old.
Oh yeah,
is adorable, and like to hear him talk without hardly any accent, it was just it made me kind of sad because I remember his little voice, but also it made me feel good that he like probably is able to that he's been able to fit in the culture, and he probably has friends, and he's just so adorable, and he has that sweet little face.
I don't think there's no drama with them. This was they wanted to check in with them. I hope she goes back to flying.
I know that was super cool.
That was cool.
Yeah. She's like, that was my hobby. I'm like, wow, how many people can say that?
I really liked her in her season. And she's one of my favorite. They're not one of my favorite couples, mostly because him and his friends who were so awful to her. But I really liked her. I liked her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, crazy question before we totally move on. And but what's your all's favorite couple, like ever? Ooh. Like from the top of your head, like
favorite because they're nuts, or favorite because we actually like them and we want them to stay together.
Who do you like seeing on the screen? When they come on your screen, you go, yes.
Ooh,
I mean, I will say for me, it is, and I'm going to get flack about this because a lot of people hate them so much. But, I mean, Gino and Jasmine is a very close second. But there's just a magic that is Karine and Paul.
Okay.
They're not my favorite, but damn, I think they're so entertaining. Yes, they're messy, and
when you get Karine and Paul, and then you get Paul's mom, who's just hot with those flat bangs on her head, like it's it's reality show gold, and I just can't stop watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go, and only because we're in season 5 right now on our class list, and I'm gonna say probably a dark horse candidate, mostly because every scene they're in, I want to crawl out of my skin because they seem to detest one another so much. But I keep saying them; they're just barreling towards marriage, and that's Evelyn and David from because. I don't. If you remember it, she's so selfish that she always wants this for the tux, and she's saying something like, "It's the only thing I really want." It's like, but you want the blue tux, so I don't know why anybody wants that. And everything is super passive aggressive, and he's so mean, and he's like so horrible to her friend. Remember, he's like, "You look like someone who doesn't date people," and it just is the meanest, cringiest
horrible
experience.
and they're perfect for each other. They're both horrible.
I like to make fun of her a lot. So I find them to be, when I see them on stage, when I see them on screen, I'm like, yes, here we go.
Complete dark horse, but that's a good, that's a good shot.
Evelyn and David for me. And everything Nicole does.
And
everything Nicole does.
Nicole and Azan?
Yeah.
That was my favorite. I was going to go with Nicole and Azan. Wow. And I never thought of it, but John and I, we were covering... what was it?
We did
not the
journey.
Diaries, the Journeys.
We did their journey, yeah.
And so we covered their journey,
What a
and
journey.
watching it, I was like, "Holy shit! I love this! I love this!" Like Azan is the ultimate scammer. He didn't even have to come to the US, and he was getting everything. I'm always like, a new sweater, Azan. I like it.
He is so gay. We're like, he is gay. He's going to like these Tunisian baths.
Yeah, gayer than Jiggy Jiggy's boyfriend.
Yeah, gayer than Aladdin.
Oh, Aladdin, yeah.
Yeah. I get a gay vibe from Muhammad on this season. From Muhammad and Eve. When he's like,
oh, that's a good Muhammad.
That is
John.
a good one.
That's the only one I can do.
You do really good in that. His voice isn't supported very well. That's a good.
Yeah. He's a character.
Yes, it's very much like that. Wow.
Like a ghost blowing across a Coke bottle.
That's it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. I can't wait.
Me too.
I think we're in for some craziness.
I just walk around the house saying that. You will get it on that day.
Well, I think that's a great place to end it.
Yes, no more.
That y'all, thank you for having it. This was far too long, and this won't be the last. We definitely need to do this more often, just because
so much fun.
It's fun, but also I like talking to other 90-day people because Jake and I, you get in a rhythm and you kind of know what the other person's going to say or think, and so it's just I love doing these collabs because we're talking to people that are obviously 90-day fans, and and it just makes me think differently about these people on the show.
Yeah,
about Chuck, for example.
Yes.
You're welcome, everyone.
Today's I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much for having us on your pod. Thanks for coming on ours. Tell us where everyone can find you if they don't know where you are already.
You can find us on Instagram at Reality Gaze Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Reality Gaze Pod. You can go to our website, realitygaze.com. It's not porn anymore.
It's not. We bought it from the guy who did porn.
It used to be gay porn, and not good gay porn, mind you.
And it was bad gay porn. I mean, if it's shocking, y'all, we bought it for only $400, if that tells you something.
Yeah. But, and we're on tour, as you guys told us, we're on tour in the summer, so...
Yes,
you can
go see
find
him on
us
tour.
On our tour, on the ticket links on our link tree in our Instagram.
Yep, and TikTok as well and all that.
And TikTok, yeah.
And yeah, we cover classic 90-day Fiance on our Patreon. We're on season 5 right now. And we started back from where we hadn't watched before because we started on before the 90 Days season 2. So we kind of have gone back and we do Love After Lockup, Love is Blind. We're about to jump into Bling Empire. We also cover Below Deck on our free feed and also Summer House. So, which I forgot y'all did Below Deck. So we'll have to do a Below Deck collab.
We'll do that. Yeah.
We are loving Below Deck.
I also need to encourage you guys to start Love After Lockup if you've never dipped your toes in it.
That seems like an undertaking.
It is. It's kind of like We
It's
need to
so
do
good.
Married at First Sight, and you need to do Love After
All
Lockup.
right. Fair enough.
Maybe that'll be a collab. You watch one episode, we'll watch one episode the other, and then we'll ask each other, what the fuck am I watching?
That
I
sounds
like
fun.
that. That's a
Let's do it.
great idea. But yeah, thanks so much, guys, for jumping on our pod and chatting with us. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
nice to chat with someone else than just John. Am I right?
Don't
I
give me
chat
a
with him all the time.
All right.
Hey,
We'll chat late at night, John.
if he takes his shirt off, I'll
Oh.
chat all night.
All right.
Ooh.
Well,
All
thank
right,
you
y'all.
guys.
I'll
We had
send you
so
my
much fun.
picklefinder.net.
Let's talk soon.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.